Okay. Hello. Good evening, everyone. I'm Professor McCoy. Welcome back. There it is. Welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance. Been a while. A couple of weeks now. Been just swamped busy on Wednesdays, so I am back to it. I got home a little late anyway, but I'm all right. To be able to do things as go through here as normal. Uh, I might just be munching on some things. Anyway, so we left off with a bit of a bit of a problem. Oh, I'm trespassing? Oh, how do I get out of here? In the monastic cell down here. I'm supposed to be leaving. I don't have any lockpicks. Oh, then we're going to mats. Haters. Yep. All right. Yeah. So, all right. So let's have a look. We are go to the church, prepare in mass. What I thought. Dr. Brother Solarius. All the way over there. How do I get over there? Steal the forbidden book at night. I do need to be able to pick locks in order to do that in any case. Anyway, beautiful. So anyway, I hope you have also enjoyed my last couple of videos. One on Star Trek, one on Star Wars. I've been on a bit of a kick on both of them lately. The excitement from Picard season three actually getting me back into watching some old Star Trek and enjoying it quite a bit. And that made me think of that one episode of Enterprise that I just had to make a video about Prime Directive and all that. And then Star Wars, that is a thought that I've had now for years that I finally put words to. And yeah, I think that it's a way of approaching more than anything else. It's a way of approaching this point that I'm always making, both in live streams, in class, all sorts, basically everywhere, um, about tradition and how tradition ought to work as a kind of gradual and organic state of development rather than as just holding on to something and leaving it unchanging or just picking something up from the past and reinstituting it today, like I was talking about in the video. Now, I do also have another couple of videos, these both on Star Wars, that I've got planned coming up probably pretty soon, depending on when I'm able to record them. Possibly one or both of them I might be able to record this weekend, maybe have them out next week. We'll see. Um, I'm not making any promises though this time because last time these two took an extra couple of weeks longer than I was ever dreaming they would. Ah, gone too. Beautiful. Um, so that is some of what's coming up. I'm also considering another video on the the ethical story structure in a lot of modern Hollywood media, and how it is essentially an attempt at demoralization. Which this has been on my mind and kind of in my plan book ever since I did the Loki video a couple of years ago. This down, so I remember to put it in there. If you haven't seen my video on Marvel's Loki, I recommend it. A lot of work went into that one. It's quite a long video, almost an hour. Um, long by my non-lecture standards, my at home produced kind of it. Um, And I had to digress a few times because there's a few things that I mentioned in there that definitely, if I'd have gotten into the weeds on them, would have been its own video by far and would have added copious amounts of video. And this is actually a similar thing to similar problem to what I'm thinking about with respect to this video now. Because at the time, I had been thinking about the as of yet two Disney Plus series, Loki and WandaVision, as having a similar problem to them, which was a kind of moral inversion. Both take the protagonist character, um, and they have them take an abhorrent moral perspective. Loki, in the case of Loki, it is basically the end, right at the end, when He Who Remains, so Kang variant, gives him the choice of whether to kill him and set free the multiverse, or to take his place and keep the whole structure of the Time Variance Authority and keep the multiverse sort of in check and to force the choices uh, of every being throughout history, on pain of mass genocide. So Loki and Sylvie, Loki and Girl Loki have this dispute about it. There's a bit of a fight, and we are led to believe that Sylvie killing He Who Remains and therefore setting the timeline free is the wrong thing to have happened. That Loki looks on in horror, and Loki being our point of view character, we sort of are invited as the viewer to take his moral perspective, which in this case is absolutely horrendously wrong. Sylvie made the obviously correct decision here, because He Who Remains was the abject villain of the entire series. Of Well, I mean, we know Kang is the big bad guy of the multiverse saga, kind of, maybe. Who knows what's happening now? Who cares? Whatever's going on, but clearly he was in the wrong, ethically speaking, in as depicted in that show. But we have Loki, um, basically putting forward a terribly wrong moral perspective, and it's done subtly, right? It's done in terms of storytelling, in terms of narrative. It's done in such a way as to invite us, the viewer, to sympathize with his perspective, take his view on the matter. Ooh, we're getting some frame jitters. Okay, that's odd. Um, Even though we absolutely should not take his moral perspective on the matter is heinous. We have the same thing with WandaVision, where Wanda and Monica Rambeau agree that she sacrificed a great deal in her freeing the town from her horrific and traumatizing psychic slavery. Yay! Um, so we get this idea that Wanda was a misunderstood hero rather than a proper villain. Which no, she was absolutely abjectly evil in the show. And the problem with this, in terms of a video, is that it keeps happening. This is an absurd trend, a sort of demoralization attempt, by Hollywood produced shows. Whether that is eat with the others. Okay, can I explore a little bit first, or can I? Straight there. This is fairly difficult. That's my food. Okay, I do actually need to eat. Door keys, trunk keys. Okay, nothing helpful. Um, yeah. In any case, it is. Gosh, this is a big issue, and it's a common issue, and it keeps showing up. This problem of inverted moral perspectives, and I don't just mean people making bad decisions. I mean, there being wrong moral theories put forward
The abbot should
as
always remember what he is,
I guess
and
obviously
what he does,
correct.
and should know that to whom more is committed, from him more is required. Let him make no distinction
No, I'm not
with
going to
persons
talk.
in the
I'm not supposed to
monastery.
talk.
Let him not love one more than another. unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the
I'm not
faults of
supposed to
offenders,
talk.
but, since he
Silence
has
while
the
eating.
authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering the fate of Heli, the priest of Silo. The well-disposed and those of good understanding, let him correct with verbal admonition the first and second time. But bold, hard,
As I mentioned, I
proud,
did not
and
have a chance to
disobedient
eat, so
characters
got a
should
couple of
curb
snacks here.
at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments, knowing that it is written, "The fool is not corrected with words."
Anyway,
And again, beat your
so part of the
son
other
with the
issue,
rod,
another
and
example
he
of
will
this, and why it
deliver
ties
his soul
into
from death.
the Star Wars and some of the other
The
videos that I'm
rule
working
of
on.
Saint Benedict. Readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says.
Oh,
I
like this.
said, I will guard my ways, that I may not sin with my tongue. I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humbled and kept silence even from good things. Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of silence ought to lead us at times to refrain even from good speech, so much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil words. Therefore, since the spirit of silence is so important, permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples, even though it be for good, holy, edifying conversation. For it is written, "In much speaking you will not escape sin." And in another place, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciple's part is to be silent and to listen. And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence. But as for coarse jests and idle words, or words that move to laughter, these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban. And for such conversation we do not permit a disciple to open his mouth. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot,
Yeah, let me
he
talk
ought
about
to
that
govern
a
his
little bit.
disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his
Getting
deeds
distracted by
even
the
more
continued
than
teaching,
by
but
his
let me
words.
actually talk a little bit. I know the
Expounding
rule
the
of silence
Lord's
and all that, but
commandments
we're
in words
outside
to
of the
be
monastery,
intelligent among his disciples,
even though Henry's not.
but demonstrating the divine precepts by his
But I will
actions
say,
for those of harder
the
hearts and ruder minds. The
the
abbot should
abstention
always remember
from
what he
basically
is and what
joking
he is called, and
is
should know that to whom
a
more
very
is
peculiar
committed,
rule,
from him
but it has
more is
a
required.
history to it.
Let him make no distinction
First of all, the rule of Saint
persons
Benedict,
in the
and
monastery.
for fear for
Let him not love
restraining
one
it for
more than
fear
another,
of
unless it be one whom he finds better in good works,
basically
or in
losing
obedience.
control of
And
oneself.
let him not shut his eyes
So
to the
this is the
faults of
idea
offenders,
behind
but, since he has the
avoiding
authority, let him
movements
cut out
to
those
laughter
faults
and
by the
things which move
roots
one to laughter.
as soon as they begin to
The idea for
appear.
this is it goes back to Plato. Plato
Remembering
pointed
the fate of
out
Heli,
in the
priest
Republic,
of Silo.
in
The well-disposed and those of
gosh,
good
book
understanding, let him
3 or
correct with verbal
4, somewhere in
admonition
there,
the first
the
and
sort of
second
early middle
time.
books, the Republic.
But bold,
Um,
hard, proud, and disobedient
looking
characters
into the issue
curb at the very
of
beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily
the fact that
punishments,
laughter
knowing that it is written,
is
"The
a
fool is
largely
not corrected with
involuntary
words."
process.
And again, beat your son
And
with
it
the
is one of the
rod,
only
and he will
involuntary
deliver his
processes
soul
that
from
we
death.
still think of as active, in a sense, right? It is something that is caused to happen by things outside of ourselves, but it is something that that we still do, we act. So it's an almost unique type of action or activity, such that it has a cause outside of oneself, but also seems to be something that we take responsibility for in some sense, that originates in some sense from within. And so it seems to be a weird instance of the will itself being overtaken by something outside of ourselves, which should not, in principle, be possible, right? We shouldn't be able to have our wills overcome by something else, like strictly speaking, overcome. But as we know from endless YouTube try not to laugh challenges, some of which I've actually funny. I've used like YouTube. Progos Nebulous. Okay, let's go check that out, shall we? Alchemy bench, that's down there, right? Brother Salarius, we'll talk to him first. Since he's probably right here, right? That's not him. Where's Brother Salarius? Unnamed monk, unnamed monk, unnamed monk, unnamed monk. Where's Brother Salarius?
Settle down a bit around here now.
I wouldn't expect too much of it.
No? Why is that?
What?
A handful. There was dozens of them, and foreign heathens too.
Is that right?
There was a great big battle. Them fuckers filled the whole of Bribislavitz.
Bribislavitz, right?
The
Okay,
Tamburg
that's
garrison had to get reinforcements to beat them. There's wounded lying at Tamburg now, and plenty new graves in Ujits. But they cleared the wasp's nest good and proper.
You say so. But I still reckon we haven't seen the last of it. That Sigismund is still on the rampage, attacking the nobles.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go around. Where is Salarius? Nevla. Nevlas. Hold on. Oh, I can only track through these. Jesus. Okay. Brother Salarius. PBD. Go work in the frattery. Provost Neville's. Okay, I guess Neville's fine. All right, let's do this.
What troubles you?
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery.
Let's see. Never mind.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. Today it's your task to concoct 2 potions to aid digestion. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them.
Okay. Shouldn't be too difficult. Okay. Not that. Let's see. That one. Parrot. Oh, I forgot to actually read it. Okay. Spirits, 1 mint, 2 chamomile. Grind the chamomile. Drop everything in. Boil for 1 turn. Alright, so spirits. 1 mint, 2 chamomile. 2 ground chamomile. Okay. Let's grind the chamomile, shall we? What's going on? Let's start with spirits? Maybe? Gonna do this first? Strange. Okay, there we go. There we go. Put both of those in there. Cool. Let's grind it up. Alright. Don't need to distill or anything, right? Alright, anyway. So why this idea about the sort of demoralization in media has really gotten me going is because I keep thinking about it in the context of modern Star Wars, of sort of new canon Star Wars. And the primary reason for that is that if we look to particularly how the New Republic is depicted. What perk available? Check that out. Oh, I got 2. Hold on. See what else I can brew if I need to. Can I do... Oh, absolutely. Yes, auto brew. Auto brew. Good lord, yes. Okay. Let me see. What can I make? Have anything for it? Don't for it. For it. Digestive potion, already got it. Cockerel. I haven't made yet. Stores energy. Actually, yeah, I should. I should make this, huh? If I'm gonna have to be up sneaking around at night, I need this. Valerian to a mint. Ground mint. Boil the mint for 1. Add Valerian. Boil for 2 more. Okay. Spirits. So, in the new canon, how the New Republic is depicted is not merely foolish or incompetent or anything like that. It is outrightly evil. Like, it is depicted as no better than the Empire. It's basically the immediate degeneration of a heroic political order into a disordered and tyrannical one. And we see this in The Mandalorian. We even kind of saw hints of this beginning to show up in in uh, in the sequel trilogy. Right? We saw that in the sequels, the New Republic was woefully incompetent, not to mention completely stupid. 2 turns? 1 turn. Okay, then put the Valerian in. And boil for 2 more. And then distill. Okay. Go. Excellent. Anything else? Could auto brew some more of that, but I'll wait. Savior Schnapps I need, but I can't. I don't have Belladonna. Gold decoction. Could. I don't expect getting hurt. Lazarus potion. Hurt, imprecation, don't really need. Definitely don't need. Nighthawk don't need, but can't make. Dollmaker useful, but no. Poison, no. Observer, don't need. In water. That's the retrain your skills thing. Lullaby, nice, but no. Useful, but I can't. Buck's blood, no. Supposed to... I'm gonna auto brew 1 more. Oh. Imbrication? No. These are in no particular order, and it drives me nuts. Cockerel. That'll do. Okay.
Peace be with you, brother.
And with your spirit. Okay.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so I know the New Republic in the Old Canon in the EU was inept, incompetent. In the Yuuzhan Vong War, there was the problem of them disregarding the importance of the Outer Rim in favor of protecting the core worlds, which led to disaster. Fine. There were political problems, but they were realistic political problems. There was not the complete elimination of the Imperial remnant within 12 months, and then the complete disarmament of the New Republic military. That was absolutely absurd. That is, I cannot believe that they decided that was a thing that anyone would reasonably do. And it wasn't even disarmed and like sort of decentralized back to regional or planetary or system-wide security forces or anything like that. No, it was a complete disarmament of the New Republic and the scuttling of the entire New Republic and Imperial Starfleets, replacing them with nothing. Which, come on. No, that's absurd. There's no good reason for that to happen, aside from, well, they didn't want anything interesting to happen for 30 years between the trilogies. Which, a series of absolutely terrible mistakes. Mistakes in writing that they've now boxed themselves into. Whereas, I'm reading through the old EU, basically, or reading in audiobooks. And I'm on Courtship of Princess Leia, which takes place 3.5, maybe 4 years after the Battle of Endor. And there are still significant warlord threats. There is still the Imperial remnant. The New Republic is producing new military vessels and is also continuing to capture old Imperial military vessels and is using them. It's actually using Imperial Star Destroyers because guess what? They're effective ships. They don't fit with the New Republic's military doctrine, but whatever, they're still quite effective. And so, yeah, it's exactly the practical response of what you would think would happen under astropolitical circumstances like the dissolution of an empire and its replacement with a republic. And so, it was handled far, far better in terms of from a political perspective. But most importantly and most relevantly to what I'm hoping to come up with for a video coming up soonish, is that it shows us that those we previously thought were the good guys, not just previously thought were, those who we've always known as the good guys, the rebels, the New Republic, all these people are now being shown as not just morally inept, not just incompetent, but actively evil. That they're at absolute best, what we see is that their noble efforts, came to nothing, and their new attempt at something good turned evil immediately, which again is demoralizing in the strict sense, right? That it prevents us from it shakes the ground out from under our capability to make ethical judgments. The best way of succinctly putting it, what demoralization means. By introducing also all sorts of multiple layers of confusion into our capacity for ethical judgment. And I think that this is a it's hard to say whether it is entirely a concerted effort or whether it is simply a representation of or a sort of outpouring of the ethical confusion of the ideologically captured writers of all this sort of thing. I don't know if it's entirely that they are intending to demoralize people, or if they are simply so utterly demoralized that they have no way of writing. a proper ethical story. I think the latter has to be part of it.
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices.
I'm pretty good with this, so yes. Wonderful. Now what? I need to talk to... Brother Celarius. Okay. Go and see the librarian. Do that too. Where's the library? What? How am I neglecting my schedule? I already did. I did the thing that I was supposed to do. Huh. Okay. No, this is in the cellar. I don't need to be in there. I'm assuming this is what I need to be doing. Assuming he will not take kindly to me dithering about. I think the library is right over here. Oh, it's locked. This isn't the library, I hope. Am I really neglecting my duties or not?
Peter's health is deteriorating. They say he won't make it to the
This can... trying to remember which one of them was almost certainly the guy I'm looking for. Ah, there he is. Solaris, perfect. Good timing.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
Amen.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Are there ever any disagreements between the brothers?
Unfortunately, yes. The biggest quarrels right now are about the election of the new abbot. They can already see poor Peter in his grave.
Tell me something about electing the abbot.
The old abbot is practically on his deathbed. There are two candidates. Half the monastery wants John, the other half, Nevlas. And there's no chance they'll come to an agreement. But you've probably already noticed the atmosphere around here.
It had to join the monastery during the election season.
Why does it matter so much who wins?
Because the future direction of the monastery hangs in the balance. The younger brothers feel they have to work more than their superior brothers, and that some brothers are more concerned with their own comfort than with worshipping God. The older brothers take a different view. They say the younger monks want privileges they haven't earned, and each side has its own candidate.
Tell me about John.
John is a circator and the oldest brother here. It would be only natural if he took the crosier from Peter. He has experience, merit, and composure. He'd lead the monastery wisely.
I'd like to know about Nevlas.
Nevlas manages the monastery's property. He doesn't have the most experience, but his drive and heart are pure, his faith firm, and his ideas rational. Although perhaps he's too keen to change our routines here, which many brothers don't like.
That's fair. That is part of the allure, or at least the sort of the benefit of a monastery is its absolute regularity, the predictability of life. It allows one to peaceably contemplate God. Contemplative prayer is best done with tranquility.
I thought politics weren't part of the monastic way of life.
You're right. But we know nothing besides the monastery, and the abbot's decisions can influence our entire life. Some of the brothers take it very personally.
Okay. Okay.
I'm looking for something a little, unorthodox.
And what would that be exactly?
I'm looking for lockpicks.
Lock picks? And what would you like those for?
Let's go for it.
I'd like to practice opening locks, just for the fun of it.
Well, why not?
Why not?
So you heard I used to be a burglar, did you? I put it all behind me as soon as I took the vows. But I do have a few lockpicks left. I'll trade them for food. Get me a bite to eat, and you can have your lockpicks. Can't say fairer than that, can I?
I have no food. Although, does that count? Oh God. Okay. Doesn't help me. Okay.
Let's talk about the price.
Well, we can try it.
What about this?
That's not enough.
Okay. Never mind. Yeah. Okay, well, I need food, but I also need to talk to him about some other things.
What is it, brother?
Okay.
I'm looking for something a little, unorthodox.
I need to still
And
talk
what
to him about
would that
the
be
drinking.
exactly?
I need to get some wine.
You're not the only one. But I have to keep records of all the casks, and the prior checks on them. He'd notice any loss straight away. Just like our food, everything's rationed. So I'm sorry, but I'll have to disappoint you, brother.
Oh, nothing really, come to think of it.
Okay. I can talk to him.
What is it, brother?
He's one of the candidates.
About you in the election, will you tell me more about it?
Ask me anything you want.
I'd like to know what's going on here.
Well, the young brothers feel they don't have the same rights and responsibilities as we, who have spent much of our lives here. And what of it? Privilege needs to be earned. Neverlas is lying when he says he wants to right wrongs. All he cares about are benefits for himself and his cronies.
Okay.
Thank you for answering.
Okay, never mind. I need to get food. Means go over to the kitchens. Char. Wait. And no. That. Dog? Okay. We should be okay here.
Yet again. I've had enough of it.
What's with the dog? Okay. Yo, dog. Here you go. Let's see. Huh? Mutt's out there somewhere, that's why. That's part of what's going on. I need to go back to the... or something like that. Have lots. Okay, where is Solarius? I definitely still need to get those lockpicks. Means I need to find Solarius again.
I'm telling you, someone's been creeping around in the corridor at night. What am I saying, creeping?
Me this time.
Like a bear.
That must have been Brother Cicada. He can't sleep and prays long into the night.
His brother Solarius, is that? There he is. This is him, right? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, have a bunch of food
What
for
would
you.
you like?
Oh my god. All of it! All of it! Oh my god, I can't do this. need to get more food. How could you possibly want this much food? God. All right, all right. Is there any more? Lockpick. Hoopers. Barter? Gotta be more stuff back here. Okay. Here we go. Okay. There's Cyril. Cyril? Right? This is the scriptorum, but... Where is the... Over there. Upstairs, right? I think. Ah. Still need to talk to Brother Solarius. Now I have a bunch of food to give him.
Written by the devil himself. Forget about them.
What now?
What would you like?
Never mind.
What troubles you?
Get away from that cabinet. The books stored in there aren't for your eyes to see.
I've heard there are some forbidden books locked up in the library.
That's correct. They're here, safely hidden away from anyone who might be tempted to read them.
How does a book get on the forbidden list?
Forbidden works are full of heresy and blasphemy and witchcraft. If you ask me, we should burn them immediately, not archive them.
I mean, for research purposes.
Could a book be prohibited by mistake? Maybe a good book or a useful one?
No errors are made. Every book on the prohibited list is there for a reason. Who am I to doubt the wisdom of Mother Church?
What if I just wanted to take a peek? Could I?
You could not. They are libri prohibiti, and the only people permitted access to them are the abbot and I. Although I see no reason why he or I would ever want to read them.
Fine then. I don't need to hear anything else.
I mean, I can try and mess with them, but that's not going to work.
Is it possible to learn something about the other novices in the library?
Only the abbot and the prior keep such records.
And can I see them?
No. The abbot writes and keeps his records in his chambers, and only he and the prior are permitted to read them.
Okay. That has to be useful.
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book. Do you know what it is?
It appears to be a page torn out of Ovid.
Ovid? What is that? Is it the name of a book?
Not what, but who. Ovid was a great Roman poet. We have a few volumes by him in the library, but one of them vanished one day. Now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to classical literature. If a book had any mention of woman at all, he condemned it as a heretical work. If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned. Ovid's The Art of Love must have been such a thorn in his side that he stole it from the library, tore it up, and hid the pages wherever he could.
Man, that reminds me of some of the overly scrupulous trad types that I know. Not exactly, but pretty darn close to it. I actually got into it. Gosh, there's been a good dialogue going on recently between Matt Frad and mostly a bunch of the people at Daily Wire about lust, and specifically talking about the impermissibility of pornography in any case, and then that sort of evolved into a discussion of whether lust can be appropriate within marriage, and ultimately the answer is no. So because the lust is a vice, the way of seeing, perceiving, and understanding someone as a mere object of one's desire to possess and to use, rather than as a person to lovingly interact with. And so lust per se within marriage is still sinful. It's still wrong. But that's a sort of hard thing to understand, and a hard distinction to make. And so this Matt Fradd is of Points with Aquinas has been making a lot of he's been having a lot of I think pretty productive conversations about the subject with a bunch of different people now, starting with Dennis Prager, moving on to Ben Shapiro, and one or two others, I think. I'll put some of them in the description, what I can find in there. I'll put those in the description after the video. But yeah, this led to this conversation gave rise to some other similar and related conversations, and some of the Facebook groups have been like Falling Apostolic Saint posting, if you're in there, if you're familiar with it. Great group, lots of fun, very meme lordy, but also a nice place of spiritual growth and development as well, which is a weird dichotomy, but wonderful nonetheless. Now, we also, though, in there have some rather rigid trad types, let's say. And there was an argument going on concerning this issue of lust within marriage, to the point that there were some people arguing that it was lust, it was the sin of lust to have sex too often, or to enjoy it too much. And I mean, and that is exactly what was said. An inordinate amount of enjoyment, or an inordinate level of enjoyment. And I'm just like, you haven't. You're not married, are you? Like, that's absurd, right? And again, it's the same kind of thinking that we have here, where any mention of women as such gets condemned. And this turned into a sort of stupid meme trend of saying absurd things, calling absurd things sinful, like acknowledging the existence of any woman who is not your wife is sinful. Holding hands before marriage is sinful. That kind of nonsense. So that kind of stuff. It's mostly in good fun, but also it does indicate that some people do go quite too far. I would say even in the wrong direction when it comes to avoiding lust.
Can you tell me something about the book?
The Art of Love is a sort of manual instructing young people how to find and maintain love. It's a lovely work. I don't understand what bothered Eustace so much about it, but as I was saying, he considered the book to be immoral and tore it up to stop it corrupting any of his brothers.
I mean that's not a particularly useful book for monks, but their role is, of course, to preserve and to carry on um, these books that will have a purpose for scholars and for ordinary folks outside the monastery.
Where should I look?
If I knew, I wouldn't have asked you to do it. The pages of the book could be hidden anywhere, from the garden to the refectory.
Oh, would you like me to put the book back together again?
Absolutely. Eustace's wits weren't the sharpest, so I'm sure he didn't destroy any of the pages. I
Convenient.
imagine he hid them throughout the monastery. It might take you a while to find them all, but when you do, you can rest assured Ovid will return to his rightful place in the library.
All right then.
Good. I'll look around for it.
Thank you, brother. It's of no great importance, but if you can find all 10 pages, I'll be most grateful.
Okay, I will try.
I found a few pages of the torn-up book, but I still don't have them all.
Just one.
Wonderful. Keep looking then. I'm sure you can find the rest.
All right.
I'm here to work.
Good. This is most likely the first time you've ever done this in your life. But it's easier than you think. Just a bit of practice and learning Latin. Here's the original, and here are the blank parchments on which you'll copy what you read in the original. Is that clear? Then you may begin, and try not to make a mess of it.
Sit. No one else is sitting. Where? Right here? Yeah, here we go. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, yeah, cum, because... What? Why are they using G's? Oh, yeah, because it's 15th century. Right. Wow, that's weird. Etium. Alito. That's not right. Okay. This is this actually manuscript? Because this is odd script. Because I've looked at medieval manuscripts before, usually around 13th century or so. Aquinas and such. Aquinas, and I've also looked at Anselm. And some of the letters are odd because I'm used to there being C's instead of G's, first of all. All right. Gaudetus. Yeah, it's Gaudetus. Okay, it's that one. It's gotta be that one. Okay. The India. Yeah, it's the out. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Vamos luz. Ireno. Ireno. Oh, that's a T. Vamos. Utqui. Not litqui. It's not liqui. Utqui. Yeah, that's right. It's always the first. Why is it always the first one? That's boring. They should mix it up and make that more difficult. Because the first one is actually made up of Latin words. I should have just looked at that to see if it was actually made up of Latin words or not. Whatever. Fine. Oh, that scritchy noise. I don't appreciate that. Don't appreciate that scritchy noise. Okay. Well, here you are. How'd I do?
Oh, this is quite inexcusable, boy.
What?
Can you even read?
What's wrong? It was right, wasn't it? I copied actual words. Crazy, right? I'm not neglecting my duties. I don't actually have any right now, so I think we're okay. What's this? Nothing I need. Oh, I do need a torch. Now, where is Brother Celerius? There he is. Hello, good brother. I have many things for you. Much food. I'm gonna give him the stolen stuff first, and then the valuable stuff. I have no valuable stuff. Oh no. Roast chicken. That. Yeah, that. Radishes. Onions. Carrot. Wait. Cabbages. Mushroom. Bread. Bread rolls. Ugh. Jesus. Carrots. Pretzel. Cake. Beets. Apples. Oh my god. Water. There we go. Oh. Take those back. Gives me health. I'm gonna haggle. See if I can
talk about the price.
get some money out of him.
Well,
more.
we can try it.
Agree?
That's still too much.
Having a few groschen never hurts.
All right, so.
Okay. I have a lockpick. Yay! I will have to do that at night, though. In here. Need another torch. I have one. What's this? Nope. Nothing I need. Okay, I assume this is the cabinet with the forbidden books. I shouldn't be messing with it. Not yet. It's not nighttime.
Forget about them.
I'm gonna head down and start making some more potions with that. Else I kind of should be doing. Okay, no. Easier, dote, age, stiv. One cock roll. Another one just in case. In case I need to not sleep. What else? Wish I had stuff I need for Savior Schnapps. Marigold I shouldn't need. Server. Lullaby! Padfoot, nice, but I don't have what I need for it. Blood don't need. That's it. Alright, now what? I can't just take the cobweb, really? I would be stealing a cobweb. I've read this already. To you guys. Some time ago. I do not believe that a cobweb would... That is the cabinet. Let me see. What else? Quest log. Alright. More scattered pages. Okay. Steal the forbidden book at night. Okay. In the cloister. Working on it. Find out what's going on in the cellars. Let me see if I can just go down there. I managed to sneak my way down there. Oh, they're setting up for a meal? Which way is the cellars, anyway? Where? Down here. Okay. Oh, well, I could have gotten all that, too. Oh, right. Forgot Master Thief. Oh, it's the cell. Okay. Right. All that. Might need it. You never know. Wait, hold on. I'm definitely not supposed to be down here, but... It's handy. But... What's going on down here? Let's see. Oh, hey! That's just out. Interesting. Okay. Okay. It could well be that an outsider is coming in here to steal wine. Interesting. Be interesting. Huh. Oh, a page. Nice. Okay. Use. Nope. What have we here? Ooh. Stuff. I know, Mutt. I know, Mutt. Oh. Okay. Expected it to auto unlock. Last one. Okay, let's try this. Reached a new level in stealth.
What do we have here? A nice sharp dagger. Now what would a monk need that for?
I don't know. Why did I take it? Gotta get back to the library, I suppose. Which is up there. Okay, what's our next thing? Hey, Bucko, how you doing? Street Fighter 6. It's not good. I've never been too much into Street Fighter. The most I ever really played Street Fighter was Afternoon Worship is at 4. Okay. Most I ever played Street Fighter was actual like arcade game version. So I never got too deep into it. Yeah, I've otherwise been doing pretty well. Been busy, and so I've missed a couple of weeks. So I'm getting back into things, trying to figure out what's going on here.
Forbidden books written by the devil himself. Forget about them.
What are you talking about? I want to talk to this guy. He's
like?
muttering about forbidden books.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Tell me something about life here.
Prayer, work, obedience. That just about sums it up.
Okay. Never mind. Friar. Friar. Hello?
I'm a new brother, a novice, Gregor.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know my way around here yet. You're in charge of the whole monastery, aren't you?
Welcome amongst us. Yes, yes. The Lord wanted me to take over the abbot's duties in his absence, but mainly I'm a servant of God, just like you and all the other brethren. Before God, there's no difference between us. How do you like it here?
That's very fundamental to the rules of Benedict. Is a kind of equality among brothers. Now, practically speaking, it won't turn out that way because that also means, equal. It means equality, but still in obedience to the order, to the hierarchical. No, they're not creeping. They're actually going about their business in a quite normal and straightforward sort of way. But no, Henry is the one creeping. He's got ulterior motives and business to attend to.
I don't know yet. Haven't been here long.
Well, you're too humble. I'm sure you must have some opinion, but I won't pry it out of you.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. What can you tell me about the novices here?
What can I say? You're here to demonstrate your devotion to God and to live a monastic life. After a year, you can make your vows and become a fully fledged brother.
I meant something specific about the brothers that are here.
But you know them yourself. Yodok is an odd one, but he's diligent and eager, perhaps too eager. Siskin is good company, but a bit too worldly for a monk. Antonius is hard-working and will help with anything, but prays less than he ought. Lucas is as quiet as a mouse, and no one knows much about him. And then we have you, about who I know nothing.
Okay. Yeah, Lucas, I'm pretty sure, is the guy we're looking for. That's all. Understand. Okay. Still have an hour before I have to go down for Matt. Means I can creep about.
Written by the devil himself. Forget about them.
Okay. Yeah, strictly speaking, I'm only trespassing because I'm neglecting my schedule. I'm in here instead of where I'm technically supposed to be. Back to Brother Solarius.
What is it, brother?
Let's see. That's stolen. Stolen, marked stolen, marked stolen. I'm gonna sell him everything that is marked stolen. And buy another lockpick. Let's see. Keep those cockerel potions. Need the wine. I am gonna have to sell a cockerel potion or two. Or several. Jeez. I have the money for this. I'm gonna get a backup
I'd like to
lockpick
discuss the
just in
price.
case.
All right, so?
Let's see here. Get some money for this instead.
Satisfied?
Okay, no, I guess not.
It'll take more than that to persuade me.
I mean, he doesn't have much money. Final offer, which means that I have to
That's a sum I can live
go
with.
with it. All right, fine. Good, fine. Here I can just lift. Hey, listen, trust me, I'm neglecting my duties, and because I have other duties. That's all. And I can't just take out a book to read either, because be stealing, I suppose. But yeah, I have a few more minutes until I've got to just wait around until the next thing. So I also I should note I have a couple of new videos out this past week or so. Right down there in the description if you haven't seen them yet. One on Star Wars, one on Star Trek. Both of which I enjoyed. I'm glad I got both of those out. Now I also have a couple more planned. Like I was saying, a couple of Star Wars videos, most prominently. Hopefully those will be coming in the next week or two. We'll see when I have time to record and when I have time to edit. But my schedule looks like I actually should be able to do that in the next little while, the next few days maybe. Might actually be out. One or both of them might actually be out next week. We'll see. But both of those, as it happens, have to do with that god awful Jack Black and Lizzo episode of The Mandalorian. But neither of them have even the slightest thing to do with Jack Black or Lizzo, given that they were not the part of that episode that I will be criticizing or pointing out the errors with. Rather, there are other problems, very gratuitous other problems with that episode that I do want to more directly address. Oh, no, I actually do need to go to mass. Okay. Eh. Can I do this? I doubt it. I'm not going to risk that. This counts as here, where I'm supposed to be, right? Because that's... Oh, that's the gates of heaven, St. Peter. Okay, I see. And the gates of hell. Being cast by... Michael? No. Anyway, it's like I was saying, I would like to do a video or two actually, planning on that Jack Black and Lizzo abomination of an episode of The Mandalorian. I haven't actually watched it, and I probably won't watch the whole thing. I only really need to watch the section that has to do with the city, the whole droid plot thing. But there are issues with it, mostly having to do with political theory and public choice theory and things like that I want to address. And then the other video having to do with that is a response video to, was it Nando v Movies, I think, has a video about the droid problem and the droid question of whether droids are sentient. And how that episode brings the problem to the forefront. Although, of course, it doesn't bring it nearly as much to the forefront as Solo did, which that was also a horrible mistake with L337. What are you gonna do? So that I'm planning on doing a response video to him because I think he gets the issue wrong, mostly because he misunderstands what Star Wars means by sentient. Because a lot of people misunderstand what Star Wars means by sentient, because there's a difference between, in philosophical terminology, there's a difference between sentient and sapient, where Star Wars uses sentient to mean sapient and has no category for sentient. So sentient meaning, in short, capable of sensation, so animals are sentient. Sapient means capable of rational abstraction and self-reflection. A person, in other words. And so there is that category is covered in Star Wars by the term, officially by the term sentient, which that is a more interesting question, whether droids are sentient in that respect, whether they're sapient in proper philosophical terminology. And the answer, of course, has to be no. But even old EU material makes that a bit complicated because it gives us several droid point of view characters, and they seem to be making decisions in the narrative, things like that. So it's an interesting question, but it's one that typically Star Wars sort of glosses over, deferring instead to internal politics of droid rights issues, which shows up sometimes. It shows up once in a while, which is what Nano V Movies was complaining about. That why don't we ever address this issue? Well, it's because Star Wars does not want to address that issue, because that's not what Star Wars is about. My thesis, in other words, for my response is that Star Wars is not science fiction; it is fantasy. Because it's fantasy, it's not going to address issues like that about science fiction, about whether machines can be intelligent. It's not a fantasy question. That's a science fiction question. And Star Wars isn't primarily science fiction. Now, no one's saying you couldn't write a sci-fi story in the context of Star Wars. I think you could do that. Oh, I'm not done yet. Silent prayer.
Brother.
Yeah?
What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
I had other affairs that needed to be attended to immediately. It will never happen again.
Really? I'll pretend nothing happened. But this is the last time, brother. Not now, brother. After Mass.
Well, yeah, I thought Mass was over. Which I shouldn't have thought. I saw someone leave. I don't know. We were all done. Anyway. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so that is another video that I'm planning on doing. Coming up soon. And the other one, which I mentioned already, is looking, which honestly will probably be quite a bit longer. Simply out of necessity, just given a copious number of examples that I'll have to look at in slightly different ways. Is this issue of demoralization in Hollywood storytelling? Because a lot of Hollywood stories that we're seeing these days it seems to me intentionally deeply demoralizing. They are intended to
let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence, or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none be said rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until Vespers.
So I'll note as well on that note, reading silently to yourself was actually relatively common by this period in time, and even by the time of St. Benedict. But that's actually something that developed late, much later than most people think. Reading reading was a strange kind of thing that developed throughout history. Like if we look to reading in the say classical context, in the context say of ancient Athens, Socrates' time, reading was an activity for slaves because it was cumbersome and inconvenient. The kinds of scroll type books that they had, the kind of writing that they had, which was all capital letters. Carolingian minuscule hadn't been invented yet. It was only capital letters with no spaces or punctuation or anything, which is just a stream of letters. So it was very difficult, inconvenient to do, and so typically reading was something done by slaves. They would read to people, to you. Hence, like the modern audiobook is a sort of return to tradition, if you want to think of it that way, in a weird sense. But then that developed into, once the codex developed, so books of, say, this form that we're most familiar with, that came about roughly coincided with the advent of Christianity.
Readings on the
And so
therefore, when anyone
Christians used codices to evangelize to a great degree.
Disciples with a twofold
And they also are far more convenient to read yourself rather than a large scroll. And so reading to yourself became common, but it was still typically done aloud. Reading silently to yourself was incredibly uncommon.
Demonstrating the divine
Even
precepts
as
by
late
his
as the
actions
5th
for those
century,
of harder hearts
because
and ruder minds.
I believe it's in the Confessions,
Always
Augustine, St.
remember what he
Augustine
is and what he is called,
notes
and should know
that
whom more is
his teacher,
from him more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another.
It's his teacher's name.
Unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear.
What in the world is his name?
Remembering the fate of Heli.
In any case, his teacher, Augustine's teacher, the bishop.
Let him correct with verbal admonition the first and second time.
I can't believe it.
But bold, hard, proud, and disobedient
I can't believe
characters, he should curb at
anyway,
the very beginning of
it'll come to me eventually, and I'll think I'm an idiot for not thinking of it. But in any case, Augustine noted that his teacher would read silently to himself, and basically wondered at this as if it were basically a superpower. It was incredibly uncommon at the time, and remained uncommon until the monastic movements, when reading silently became quite common, when you had to copy books. And copying books became a practice of reading and writing. Both silently, both to yourself. And so that really didn't develop until much later.
Let's hope things will settle down a bit around here now.
You mean after the Tarnberg attack on the Brigands' secret camp? I wouldn't expect too much of it.
No? Why is that?
There was only a handful of bandits there.
A handful? There was dozens of them. And foreign heathens too.
Is that right?
What troubles you?
Nothing.
God be with you.
Servus.
Servus. Praise be to our Lord Jesus.
Hey, Yorok.
What troubles you?
I'm interested in the other novices. What can you tell me about Siskin?
Oh, he's always got a smile on the new friend. But I reckon he don't belong in the monastery. He spends more time dreaming of the world outside than tending to
He's
his
the
duties.
former noble who has money
I'm
stored
surprised
away
he hasn't
somewhere.
been thrown out already. If it was up to me, he'd be out on his ear right away.
Okay.
Sounds like you don't have much time for him.
I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. Believe me, Gregor, he's hiding something from us. In fact, now I come to think of it, I haven't seen him at morning prayers for a while.
I'm interested in Lucas.
Nobody knows much about Lucas. He keeps himself to himself. If you ask me, he's got something to hide.
Who doesn't?
I'd keep well clear
Apparently.
of him if I was you.
Do you have any grounds for suspecting him of something?
Quite a lot. And also none at all. The circuitous who make the rounds despise him, and they'd never punish anyone without cause.
Okay.
Do you know anything about Antonius?
Only that he came to the monastery voluntarily, because he didn't want to work in his father's shop. Antonius is all right. You can rely on him. He won't betray your confidence. He's always happy to help, which is more than can be said for the other brothers.
So I'm really suspicious to just trust Antonius. Everyone's telling me to. I don't know if I should. Everybody's telling me to trust Antonius.
You're right. It's stubborn.
It's a mystery. But one that will be
Supper,
soon
comp line,
solved.
free time before retiring. Free time.
Rest in the morning, then eat
Oh, well, still supposed to be eating, I guess. This. A blank piece of parchment on the door. Interesting. Okay.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
Amen.
Brother, I've a favour to ask, and I think you're the man to help me with it. Or you used to be.
Wonder if this will work.
Before you came here.
I mean, I don't
I
need
see.
this, really.
So it's the dodgy sort of favor, is it?
Well, yes. I need to get hold of the keys to the monastery.
That won't be easy, I can tell you that straight off. A prior always keeps the keys close by him. So how exactly do you imagine I could help?
No, never
There's
mind.
something else on my mind.
Never mind. I already found my way out.
Remember the vows you made. We're forbidden to leave the monastery. It's not for me to sit in judgment, but think hard about what you're doing.
Yeah, like I'm not leaving.
You have some interesting skills for a monk. Don't suppose you want to tell me how you picked them up?
What's there to tell? We were all young and foolish once. I was a student in Prague, completely broke, living from hand to mouth and studying all day. It wasn't an easy life.
So you turned to stealing?
I set about securing a livelihood as best I could. A goose, some new shoes, a bit of coin to spend with my friends. Without that little bit extra, I'd never have completed my studies. I would have turned into a beggar. And who else do you know that can say he's serving God thanks to having been a thief?
No one, brother. Thank you for telling me your story.
God turns all things to good, I suppose. Go to bed. Let me just real quick. One of those. Right, let's see here. What we got? Nothing. Nothing of use. Okay.
Peace be with you, brother. Salve. Be well.
Some valerian.
Abbot Peter's health is
I'm just gonna pick a bunch of flowers and such.
They say he won't make it to the autumn.
No. Peter has a strong constitution. He'll still be on this earth for many years.
John's wort. No, no belladonna though. What I really need.
I want change. And only a new abbot can bring that.
Waiting pays off. There's no hurry.
Typewrite. Ooh, that's handy. That's very handy. That's for one of the basically the night vision potion.
I'm telling you, someone's been creeping around in the corridor at night. What am I saying? Creeping? He was stomping about like a bear.
That must have been Brother Cicada. He can't sleep and prays long into the night.
I do like the idea of wandering the halls, just wandering wandering the monastic halls at night in prayer. Like, setting aside the fact that he's probably actually creeping and doing something sketchy. Like, that is a thing. A nice quiet solitude.
Salve, be well.
Yeah. Lucas?
Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's nothing I can tell you.
I mean,
Really?
where you're from, what sort of life you had before, that sort of thing.
I'm a novice, and my monastic name is Lucas. Nothing else matters.
Come on. Is there really nothing at all you can tell me?
I could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. I want to stay focused on work and prayer, not on who I once was. I never will be again. What has been isn't important for us. We cast the past aside when we walked through the monastery gates and took our oath. Never forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Service.
I wonder if I can basically just try and convince him to fake his death and leave, kind of thing. Rather than, kill him. I don't want to kill him. Certainly.
Someone read You're right. It stunk like a wine barrel before. And it's not the first time.
It's a mystery, but one that will soon be solved. It's a wonder that flies up to check everyone's breath in the morning. Then he'd soon get its man.
All that. Everyone basically says, hey, trust Brother Antonius. It just makes me more suspicious of him, you know? What can I make that I haven't? Eat it. No. Yeah, don't care. Have plenty. That'd be handy, but I need belladonna, which I don't think I'm gonna. Marigold decoction. I probably don't need in here, really. Not gonna get hurt too bad. Need Mariad. Nighthawk. This I need, but I don't have belladonna again, or cave mushrooms. I don't know where I would find cave mushroom. Water, lullaby. Adfoot. This will be handy. All I need is cobwebs. That should be easy enough to find. Say. Really? Adfoot, right? Cobwebs, that's handy. Is handy. Now, the fact that I'm putting cobwebs into a potion is a little bit weird, but...
Things will get worse. I can feel it in my joints. The things you say. My joints started aching just before they raised scallops.
Padfoot, yeah?
Now they hurt again. Worse than last time. I'll tell you, something is going to happen out there.
Oh, okay. That's what it is. God, this is complicated. I'm gonna auto-brew it. Auto-brew another one, too. All out of cobwebs. If I find more, I can make more, but that's okay. Don't have any right now. That's fine. Alright, moving on. That's the way up to the dormitories. But not just yet. Wander around a bit. Play. Okay, never mind. I am going to go up. See if I'm allowed downstairs. No, not supposed to be down here. Okay. Don't want to be causing trouble just yet. I'll go up to bed. Now, I gotta figure out who sleeps here, because there was a dagger in this chest. I can't go out there, can I? Oh, this is the church. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and have a sleep for like an hour. Not for very long, because I am going to need 2 hours. I'm going to need to get up and cause some chaos, get into some trouble before morning. Also, I should mention this wine, by the way. This is was it Arbor Mist, I think? The brand name. It's a very cheap blackberry merlot. It's actually really good. I enjoyed it a lot. It's a it's basically like a dessert wine sort of thing. Like a sweet red sort of thing. It's interesting. For librarian. Very fascinating. Sneak stonk on downstairs, shall we? Somebody's been creeping around in the basement, in the cellar. Look. Aha!
You've seen us drinking here, so either join in or swear you won't tell a soul. You wouldn't want to end up like Lucas now, would you?
Lucas. Interesting. I need to join in, because I need to find out more about Lucas.
All right. I wouldn't mind some wine.
That's more like it. Sit down and have a drink, my lad. I'll say one thing, brother. This wine would grace the Pope's table.
I'm not so sure. It's a bit sour. God knows what's in it.
Don't be absurd. It's a first-class cask, direct from Znojmo.
No, I know the taste of a good vintage, and this isn't it. I bet you that wretch Yorick got the casks mixed up.
Nonsense. It's perfectly drinkable.
No, it isn't. It's sour. No matter. We'll get more soon. So, good health.
Good health.
We'll have to take that Yorick to task about where he got this wine and tell him next time he'd better get proper Znojmo.
Okay. In any case, yeah, this proper wine here is It's very cheap, but it's actually quite decent, and it's actually quite reminiscent of what would be relatively common in the Middle Ages. A sweet red. It's lightly sparkling, which might not have been too common. But a sweet red, usually with other flavors mixed in, that sort of thing. It's very good. I actually like this sort of thing.
What troubles you?
Um,
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery.
What about Lucas?
What can you tell me about the...
What can I say?
I meant something...
But you know, Antonius...
Okay, I've already asked him about that. Okay, never mind.
What are you doing here?
What does it look like? Drinking.
But we're all monks.
Youngster, when you're as old as I, you'll understand.
Okay.
Why not? I've had enough opprobria and obedientia for one day.
That's what we like to hear.
You mentioned Yodok. What does he do for you?
Nothing much. He's just a little suckling like you. He'll do whatever it takes to stay on our good side. Sometimes we make use of him when there are errands to run.
Okay.
Where'd you get the wine from? I thought the monastery cellars were guarded.
So they are, but this wine isn't from the monastery. Listen, lad, would you help us out with something? This cask is almost empty, and we need a new one. We're a bit old for such exertions. But you, on the other hand...
I'll help you. What do I need to do?
Ha! I knew it. Help Novice Jodok arrange for a new cask. Talk to him first thing in the morning, and by tomorrow night the cask can be on the table.
All right, I'll talk to him.
Okay, so Yodok.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery.
Alright, never mind. What about Circadia
What
John?
is it, brother?
I'll be going, brothers. It's been good to sit with you a while.
Do us a favour, brother. Stay a little longer and have another drink with us. Here, some wine for you.
Thanks, but I won't have any more. I need my sleep.
As you wish, brother, as you wish. We'll be heading off soon ourselves.
Okay.
Ah, down the hatch.
I have a feeling that if I had drunk more, I would have woken up in trouble. Okay, now do some more sneak smoking. But I already snuck around here plenty. Okay. There we go. Get up into the library. And, I already checked that. Alright, back up to the library because I need to get that, book from the Forbidden Cabinet. Also, check everything else while I'm up here. I've been stealing.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Well, probably the same as you. I want to be able to read in peace and quiet. And not just the books they make us read.
What exactly do you read here?
Well, I'd be interested to find the unofficial biography of Saint Procopius, but there probably is no such thing. To be honest, I was expecting some entertaining reading, but it's just the same old stuffy nonsense. But if that locked cabinet there with all the forbidden books was open, that would be a different story. Until recently it was still unlocked, but after something vanished, they've kept it locked tight.
If something vanished, I can understand why.
Books are meant to be read, so why keep them hidden away?
It depends on the book, I suppose.
If you're able to get inside, I'll be grateful till the day I die. All I'll do is leaf through a few books and then put them right back.
Okay, fine. Meanwhile, take a look in here. Are you seriously? You gotta be kidding me. That can't be serious. That book, a page from that book was in the library. Take that cobweb. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Oh. I know I've been seen. That's fine. He knows I'm doing this.
Ha! All the treasures of forbidden learning in my reach.
Gregor, talk to me.
No, I'm not gonna. No.
How is it that you don't get any penance for missing morning prayers?
I've paid off the circators to turn a blind eye.
Oh, I see.
And the other monks don't notice as long as you show your face there from time to time. No one's still awake at that time of the morning.
No. Oh. Wait, where's the book? Where's the book? Oh, wait, there it is. Necronomicon? Oh, come on now. That's quite silly.
Ah, this looks like the Saracen language. Ibn al-Hassan. That's who I'm looking for. Avicenna.
Unbelievable. Imagine these men could have been burned at the stake just for writing these books. Many were, I'm sure.
I'll need the
It's mostly
Necronomicon
Latin.
later.
That's not much use. But what about this one? Magical potions for conjuring diverse apparitions.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Hey, you better leave that here.
What are you so afraid of? No one will notice if one or two books are missing. This one looks interesting. A sorcerer's potion for rematerializing the body physical in other realms and for conversing with spirits of all
I will need the
manner
Necronomicon
therein.
later. That's
I have to
odd and disturbing.
I'll remember the
Particularly
recipe
because
and prepare it
Necronomicon is a modern invention. That is a very modern invention. That is not a proper medieval text at all. Now, I have read some medieval some stuff on medieval magic. Basically, it's not gonna say anything. Alchemy quest with the meat lady from Lebdechko.
Why aren't you in the dormitory?
What are you gonna do? Hey, hold on. Hey. What are you doing? Really? What, are you gonna go tell on me? I better get back then. Read the records book. That I need to do, but I also probably need to get back to the dormitory just in case. Let me read the Necronomicon, I guess. Oh, he's probably going to bed. Well, if he comes up here and comes to bed, then that's fine. But I probably should read that. Oh, they're both here? Interesting. Yantia. Oh. What is that? That's actually in Arabic? Huh, it's hard to see exactly. Alright. I do need to go and read the record. Not sure who he would go and tell on me to. Reading it. Ow. Alright, well let's go back and read the records. That will help us. Case. See a damn thing. Where the heck? Ah. Here we go. I know, Mud, I know. Or Mud. Yeah, sure. Have, I suppose. This is a very strangely shaped room. There's a page in here. Where's the page? But I searched it. Oh, here we go. This will be difficult. Not terribly, though. There we go. Aware that I'm trespassing. He has the master key. I can come back to that. Oh, it's behind his bed. Interesting. Good notes. Fascinating.
What have we here?
Those.
It looks like a book with the names of all the novices.
Okay. Siskin. Yodok is... Or no. Antonius. Okay, this is actually correct as to what he heard. Lucas. This. And Gregor, that's me, son of the noble. Okay, this is basically the fake story.
Interesting.
On a table, big four-post
I
bed.
still don't know which one of them is pious.
Read them all? I'll read mine a little more. Oh, well, I don't need that, actually. Those I need. Oh my god. I'll take it. Okay. Let me read this real quick then, huh? This kid. Youngest son of the illustrious Smil Flashka. That's exactly what he said. Faith is tepid, perhaps even apathetic. His father was bestowed most generously upon the monastery a great sum of money in return for his son's acceptance. Therefore, he was accepted despite many objections to his nature. And despite possessing an unsuitable temperament for monastic life, upon his entrance, Sir Flashka of Pardubitz and the younger contributed another substantial donation to the monastery. Therefore, let us be, at least at the beginning, more tolerant towards his transgressions. Siskin requires work. He must be taught discipline. He led to faith in Christ and kept at a great distance from the monastery cellars. Okay. Oh, anything on your person. Oh, it counts as stealing. Oh, I didn't know that. Yodok, in spite of his sinful past, he could prove to be a right and true model for others. Now, by diligence, seditious, firm in faith, he always steps forward. Hails from a line of wealthy yeomen. 15th year, guided by the devil, he forced himself upon a young lass, deflowering her. Yet he cast aside the guilt that should have burdened his mortal soul, pointing the finger of blame at a farmhand who was punished with the greatest of severity. In the last year, after attempting to ravish yet another maiden, he received his just punishment. The girl's enraged father saw to it that Yodok was sent to the monastery in spite of these former sins. This day, he's maintained righteous behavior, and he's the most suitable candidate for the clerical life. Okay, except for the whole stealing wine for the circutors. Whatever. Antonius, son of a wealthy merchant of Lasham, studied theology at the University of Prague, which he did not complete, for his father fell ill, in need of constant care. Upon his death, he inherited alongside his brother his businesses, although he did incline more towards books than commerce. Indeed, in his hands, the business languished. Having come to an amicable agreement with his brother, he set his mind to follow his heart, path which led him to the door of a monastery, wherein, in his words, he is sure to find greater peace than in a merchant's shop. He has demonstrated his education well. He knows Latin best of any of the novices, although his diligence and meticulousness leave much to be desired. It is said that it must be said also that his manner gives rise to doubt about his claims. I shall have to. I'll have to send an inquiry to Father Stephen of Lasham to determine if he is indeed known in the part of the land. Theology. Pious? Lucas, quiet, studious, humble, true candidate of the order, always obedient, speaks little, prays more with greater passion. Only flaw deserving of admonishment is inclination for sodomite perversions, I see, for which his family had him removed to this place, for fear his actions would bring the shame and condemnation of their honorable fellow citizens upon them. In the time he has been here, his perverse nature has not manifested itself in any way. However, he must be observed with cautious eye, particularly in regards to his contact with the other young novices. If two brothers were to lay together, it would besmirch this monastery. Amen. Gregor, largely unsuitable candidate for a monastic life. He's the son of a nobleman of lower rank. He seems to pose more problems than even Siskin. Accustomed to wealth, intoxication, and philandering, it forced to don the monk's habit at the direct command of Lord of Dalba, whose daughter he did make with child, thus thwarting her planned marriage to another lord of great means. He is not to stay in the cloister all his life. He is here to learn better behavior, for which his father donated a handsome sum to the monastery. A firm, strict hand is needed to guide Gregor, and it shall take many a punishment before he learns to bow his defiant head before God Almighty and serpents on earth. You can do a sodomy subquest if you like. No. Not all about sodomy. Naturally. Let's see. Well, that is I can only imagine. Here we go. I can only imagine having to do that with treasure map. Having to do that with mouse and keyboard. Or having to do that with the gamepad rather than mouse and keyboard makes it so much easier. Let's see. It's benign, but exists, huh? Another door, jeez. They're always trying to make you compare current morals to ancient morals. That's true. And, or I guess, medieval morals more so than ancient. There's there. And of course, medieval morals are in almost every way, not quite in every way, but in almost every way superior. At least they were, to some degree, serious. Took the practice and study of ethics as something that could be understood and actually taken with some degree of seriousness. Where in the heck am I? Where is this? Oh. Hello. Where am I? Did I just leave? That's not right. I should not be leaving. Okay. I assume I shouldn't be leaving. I assume I shouldn't be, like, gathering weapons either. The Overseer's officer? Oh, is that the, oh God, what's his name? The guy who slept with Johanka. Okay. So, hold on, let me see. Slav letter, Jesus, no. Message from Sir Radzig. Page from the book. Ulrich's documents. Where is that page? Took. Jotted notes. What's this? Two pages in the scriptorum. I think I got those. Remember, descend from the gate of faith between the shadow of the cathedral and the wooden stockade. Pass contritely through the dry riverbed. Beneath the great bridge, like Moses fearlessly still the waters. Ascend to dry land among the bulrushes. Find your faith and search for the burning bush. What? What does that mean? Oh, that's the custodian. So it's not the custodian. So wait, was I going a reasonably good direction? Wait. Hey. Missed one. There's not a direction right now. Just things to get done. Right. I mean, that's kind of what I thought. Oh, geez, already? Last time. Well, I'm almost there, so.
Praise be to our Lord Jesus.
Get the key off the abbot. I need to get the key, or can I just unlock the door? Because I can just unlock any of these doors. Also, I should note, I'm aware of the reading thing, but I'm pretty sure my reading is at 20. Yeah, it's my reading's already maxed out. What's this? Herbalism. Horsenip. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that, botanist. Sell prices. I like sell prices. I'm very close to maxed out level in a lot of things. So I have to accuse Pius, who I actually am thinking is Paunius now. Anyway, I do need to go and give the book. Yeah, I don't need the key, but it's easier and safer. That is true. That is true. I don't want to get caught with lockpicks, I suppose. I mean, it's fine. I'm decently good at this. I think I should be alright. Is that the tabernacle? Not Lucas, but that there. That looks like the tabernacle, which is an odd place for it. I mean, not really. It's a little strange. And there's no candle. There should be a unless that wasn't unless that wasn't a liturgical convention yet. But I thought that was I thought that was a practice going back a lot older. Having typically a red candle um, when the Eucharist is reserved in the tabernacle. Is there a way to not murder Pius? I'm actually curious about that. Because I don't want to kill the guy. Particularly if it is Antonius. He's like a nice guy. I think I'm leaning towards Antonius. Unless it is Lucas. Could be. Could still be Lucas. Okay. The best possible outcome. Okay. All right. No poisonings or assassination attempts yet. I'm trying to avoid that. Trying to avoid that if possible. In a speed run, you just murder him and don't do any of this. Well, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, you need to at least. Oh, I guess you can just stealth kill him. You can stealth knock him out, or you can. Can you stealth kill without a dagger? Or would you need to get the dagger first? I mean, I guess you can stealth knock him out and then finish him off. I guess that's the thing you can do. But I'm not actually sure if you can stealth kill, just straight up stealth kill without a dagger. I think you might actually need a dagger for that. I don't exactly know that you can. I haven't tried that. I always have a dagger on me, so it's never come up. Right, well. Oh yeah, I know. I found the dagger. It was right near the librarian's bed, which is a little odd. Thought that might have been a clue or a hint or something, but I assume it's not. It's not. I also am going to assume that after you finish this quest line, you can't come back here in a friendly manner. um, I'm assuming you could probably break back in. If you have the master keys, you can just walk out and grab it off your horse and kill him. Oh, that's true. That's a good point. I mean, I already accidentally broke out. Because if you just go down to the cellar, the door there is only hard or very hard, which is like nothing for me. I think I have a level 20 lockpicking. Oops. No, I have level 18 lockpicking, so it's very, very good. Pros have a glitch where they fall through the floor and shoot him in his bed in the cloister. Oh my. Well, I mean, if it works, I guess. Lord. You can break back in. Okay. And they don't remember you. Well, I guess so. You're dressed quite differently. The whole Superman Clark Kent thing, I suppose. Kind of a shame, though. Also, this balcony here that leads over to the dormitories, that might answer a question that I've had for a good long time. Which is that there is at our monastery, our Benedictine monastery, where we go to mass on occasion, where I teach at St. Leo. There is a small, what I took to be a room with basically a lattice work, sort of screen over it, in roughly this position here. Right where this is pointing, in the church. and I've never quite been sure what that was, or in what context that was, or why it was there. And now looking at this, I wonder if that just goes into opens into the roughly speaking dormitories, the monks, because it does open to the monks area, their side of the abbey. So I'm wondering if that actually could be interesting, because I wasn't actually sure. I'd never asked about it. I maybe ought to have, going there for like 7 years now. I could have, but now I'm actually quite curious. I'm wondering if that actually is. This is a representation of that same thing. Okay. Well, we're not all leaving yet. I should speak to Yodok. Yeah, I can. Like I said, I could definitely just ask on there. I do need to talk to Yodok about the wine. I know it's into the dorms here. I'm wondering about real life version. Oh wait, not in.
What is it, brother?
Found a dagger in your trunk. Never mind. It was his trunk. Wait, his? Wait, no. Really? Did I just accuse anybody of that? Hey, Yodok.
Talk to me, brother.
I was talking last night with the brother Cicators. It seems you're to fetch them a cask of wine, like last time.
Well, yes, it's true.
I'd like to help you.
Would you really do it? To get hold of the wine, we'll have to leave the monastery for a bit. I know it's forbidden, but we've no other option. If wine started going missing here, someone would notice. But to leave the monastery, we need the keys. And only the prior has those.
Wait a moment. Are you saying I'm supposed to steal the prior's keys so I can go and steal wine somewhere else?
You see why I don't want to do it myself now, do you?
Seems unnecessary.
I don't have what it takes. I can't get those keys, but you could. Or you might be able to pick the locks.
But you've done it once before, haven't you?
Last time the prior was sick, and he left the monastery keys in the Circator's care. So they unlocked the gates for me. This time we'll have to steal the keys.
I don't need the keys. I'm just gonna...
How can I get hold of the keys, do you think?
I don't know, but it might be possible to do this without them. Brother Celerius, the cellar keeper, used to be a burglar. He knows his way around locks, and maybe could help us, if you could find a way to arrange it.
Do you think he'll want to take part in theft?
No, but he could give some advice, or maybe get some lockpicks to open the gate. You'll figure something out.
If you think so, I can try.
Once you have the key or some lockpicks, come and see me and we'll make our plan.
Okay.
About those keys.
I've got a lockpick.
Did you get them? Keys? Or at least lockpicks?
Yeah.
Yes, I have them.
In that case, come before midnight to the cloister garden. I'll be waiting for you there.
The garden?
We'll head off.
Why? Why the garden? I mean, it's fine, I suppose, but... Okay. So, was it Antonius's chest that had the dagger? That's interesting. Siskin?
Talk to me, brother.
No, God, no. Magic potion. Yeah, what about...
About that magic potion from the forbidden books. Siskin, that potion isn't a good idea.
Well, maybe it is, maybe it's not. But I want to try it out. I'm not saying right now, but at some point.
What do you plan on doing with it?
I don't really know yet. Perhaps one day I'll concoct it and try it out.
Would you share the recipe with me?
Curious enough.
You don't even have to ask. It's thanks to you I have it. Listen, old wives' ointment, which witches use upon the Sabbath, and therein damn their souls to the devil. Prepare oil, a fistful of marigold, a fistful of belladonna, and a fistful of lover's knot. Boil the lover's knot for one. Drop
Got
the
it.
ground marigold.
Sounds quite...
And it probably is. But I'm interested to find
I
out
already
what
know
it
that,
does.
don't I? I think I already know that recipe. Okay.
Among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds. The
done
abbot
already.
should always remember what he is and what he is called.
I think
Should
we are
know
probably,
that to whom
I had to guess,
more
we are
is
probably going to
committed,
have one more
from him more
stream
is
in the
required.
monastery. I
Let
don't
him
think I'm going to
make no
finish this,
distinction of
all of
persons
this, in
in
the
the
next half an hour.
Let him
I
not
think
love
so.
one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults.
Yeah, I
by
didn't
the
think I
roots
wanted to make her
as
use the
soon
potion.
as
I
they
did not
begin
think so.
to appear.
It's the same as the witch's
Remembering the
potion,
fate
isn't
of
it?
Heli, the priest
From
of
the
Simon. The
witches
well-disposed
in
and those of good understanding, let him correct with verbal
Ujits,
admonition the first and second
right?
time.
Same
But
thing.
bold,
The one
hard,
where they
proud,
like go into the
disobedient
woods and
characters,
rub it all
he
up in
should
their
curb
business,
at the
and
very beginning
then
of their
they start
ill-doing by
hallucinating and think you're the
stripes
devil. That
and
one.
other bodily
The same as that, right?
punishments. Knowing that it is written, the fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching.
Every meal we've
That
read
is to
about
say,
the
he
abbot.
should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's commandments in words to the intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts.
It's also
and ruder
interesting.
minds. The
Okay,
abbot
I thought so.
should
It's
always
interesting
remember what he is and what
that
he is called,
the
and should know that to whom more is committed.
that there is
From him
non-diegetic
more is required.
Gregorian
Let him
chant.
make no distinction of persons in the monastery.
In this case,
Let him not
the
love one
Paternoster.
more than another,
In the previous case,
unless it
Paternoster.
be one whom he finds better in good
Non-diegetic
works
because
or in
it's
obedience.
because the monks are
And
eating,
let him not shut his
therefore not
eyes to the
singing,
faults
and
of
also are therefore
offenders,
silent.
But since he has the authority,
Which
let
is
him
weird
cut
because
out
it's
those
one of those
faults
things
by
that
the roots as
I think it
soon as
belies
they
our
begin to
modern
appear.
fear of silence. We as modern people
Remembering
do
the
not
fate of Heli,
like
the
silence
priest
at
of
all.
Silo. The
And
well-disposed
so
and those
we have to
of good
even in
understanding,
moments
let
that
him
are
correct
supposed to be
with
silent,
verbal
like
admonition
diegetically,
the
we have
first
to
and second
put in this
time.
non-diegetic music to
But
try and get
bold,
the
hard, proud,
atmosphere right, I
disobedient
suppose.
characters
And
he
while
should
yes,
curb at the
Benedictines,
very
the
beginning of
Benedictine
their
order
ill-doing by
is
stripes and other bodily
charged with the care
knowing
and
that it is written,
the practice
fool is
and
not
the
corrected with words. And again,
preservation
beat your son
of
with the rod,
of Gregorian
and you will
chant.
deliver his soul from
That
death.
doesn't mean that at all
The
times
rule of Saint
it's
Readings on
excuse me, it's the sort of ambient sound of
idleness
the
is
Benedictine
enemy of
monastery.
the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed
Anyway.
hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence, or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none be said rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until Vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature
Brother.
as to keep them from idleness and at the same
You were
time
somewhere you shouldn't have been.
burden them
What?
or
Don't you know
drive
your
them away
place?
from excessive
Don't you
toil.
know
Their
where you're
weakness must
permitted
be
to
taken
enter
into
and where your
consideration
presence
by
is
the abbot.
forbidden?
Who's talking to me?
I've had enough of this. You'll never put me in seclusion.
You dare resist punishment? Let me remind you, brother, you will suffer the consequences of your deeds.
Okay.
I apologize.
Who am I
shall
even
serve
talking
my
to?
time
Where
in
is...
solitary confinement?
I still need to look through your pockets to see if you have anything you shouldn't. You have a weapon. Here in the monastery. I don't care where you got it or why, but clearly your intentions are not honorable. You failed to complete your trial period as a novice.
Oh.
You are hereby banished from the order of Saint Benedict. Be gone at once.
I don't know how that happened. Okay, I'm gonna reload. Because, 23. Yeah. Yeah. Oops. It triggers. How did that even trigger? Yeah, I'm reloading. That's a weird thing to trigger. Because, I mean, I was... Where I was supposed to be, I thought. Yeah, that did sound like John. Odd. Alright, anyway, it just saved here, so it's not too bad. I might have stayed eating too long. Or just John... sort of...
What would you like?
Had a thing here.
I'd like to ask you something.
Nope, never mind. Okay. Interesting. Alright, well, let's try that again, shall we?
So much
I wonder if I can
more
sit and
of
wait.
Punishment for sin
Oh,
makes
can't,
avoid
can I?
evil words.
Drop the stuff.
Speak should rarely be granted even to
I mean, I can just go up to the dormitories really quick and place them in a chest. I know I'm neglecting, but it's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and put things right about. Here we go. Yay! I don't want to be naked, though. Hold on. There we go. All right. That'll work. Try this again, shall we?
times to refrain even from good speech. So much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil words. Therefore,
Yeah, I don't know why that triggered. That's odd.
silence so important.
Brother.
Yes?
You were somewhere you shouldn't have been.
Oh my god.
Don't you know your place?
Well-
Don't you know where you're permitted to enter and where your presence is forbidden?
It was Siskin, wasn't it?
Very well, brother. I accept my punishment.
It was Siskin, wasn't it?
Now, show me what you have on you.
Yeah. Okay, it's nothing. Literally nothing I have. Best. Yeah. Another quest. Yeah, I just put everything in the chest there, so hopefully I can just reacquire it. Oh, I left the book. I assume it's fine. Alright, well, first thing tomorrow morning, I guess. Like I said, I'm assuming I'm not going to finish this in half an hour. But at this rate. Yeah, it just sort of randomly triggers, I suppose. I have no idea why. I'm assuming it's because I was seen by Siskin. Like, I think being seen by anybody will sort of sick the circadians on you. Should have realized. It's fine. It's fine, we fixed it, more or less. Just an extra day. Oh, right. Crap. Failed to meet Yodok. Darn. Can I just talk to Yodok again?
Praise be to our Lord Jesus.
Amen. Yeah, I wonder if I can just talk to Yodok again. Nope, not Lucas. I heard you like the company, but no.
In the night, I overheard the cicadas in the cellar. They were talking about you.
Oh, no. So it's still not over. This isn't a life in service of God. This is purgatory.
Lucas, what's going on?
What do you think? Just like you, I saw the cicadas drinking and playing hazard as if they were in a brothel.
Okay, well, lost the side quest.
We'd be safer not to get mixed up in the affairs of our superior brethren.
You're probably right, but I was naive and hoped I could fix things. I warned them if they didn't stop, I'd go and tell the prior. But instead of mending their ways, they vented their anger on me.
I figured.
You've picked the wrong people to make enemies of, Lucas, they told me. Now I can't even count how many days and nights I've spent locked up in solitary confinement for the tiniest offenses, or for no offense at all.
I'm sorry, but I can't see anything that you or anyone else can do about it.
But what if you're wrong? I think all it might take is for you to go and sit down with them, have a talk, set things straight.
Maybe.
Then they'd leave me
can do
alone.
that.
But I'm afraid even this path leads nowhere. They'd probably start hounding you as well.
I'm not afraid of them.
Brother, you have the courage I lack.
I mean, I'll
May
talk
the
to
grace
them.
of God be upon you.
After I bring them wine, I'll talk to them. I'm not going to do the sodomy quest. No, thank you. Yodok.
What would you like?
Hey, sorry about that whole,
About
thing.
those keys. Did you get them?
Let's try this again, shall we?
In that case.
Yay!
The last time round, getting out of the monastery didn't...
Fine. I'll be waiting for you
Okay.
come evening in the cloister. But this time we'll head straight out.
Okay. Excellent. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, here we go. Okay. That's what I... Why is that what I think? Now I'm suspicious. Does it involve guiding him away from his lecherous ways? Because that sounds good. It is odd. I mentioned this before. I think last time we were doing this, that a little disappointing to me that they don't even have like a truncated version of the mass at any point throughout this quest, because you'd think they would. I'm already in the quest. You say you want to? Oh my! Wait, how am I already in the sodomy quest? I think so. I mean, I can, of course, just not talk to him. Oh, well, okay. All right, well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. That should be interesting how that's handled as well, in terms of, like you were saying earlier. Oh, shouldn't treat sodomites like that. Ah, I see. I mean, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't, but also, maybe you shouldn't in terms of, how do I put this? In terms of monastic discipline, it is a very dire temptation, particularly in a setting like this. Juxtaposing modern morals. Okay, so that's that. I see where you go. Yeah, that's a fair point. And again, I don't. Again, I think that it is something to be dealt with quite harshly in a setting like this, in a context like this in particular. But especially in terms of what is effectively more or less voluntarily taken on monastic discipline. Um, I do think that that religious life in this context is a perfectly suitable way to rid yourself of, or at least to deal with a grave temptation of that sort. So whether that's of an unnatural sexual nature, or if it's anything else, right? If you have an addiction, if you have trouble with to keep it in the realm of sexuality, but without the sodomy angle, if you have an issue with, say, pornography, or if you have an undue temptation to theft, or to extreme gluttony, right? Anything like that, monastic discipline is a perfectly reasonable way. It's a perfectly reasonable way to deal with that sort of thing in one's own spiritual life and in one's own spiritual development. And this is why, I mean, there are the Order of Saint Benedict, as well as most monastic orders that I know of, and most Catholic monastic orders have a lay, some manner of lay ministry, where lay people, people who don't take monastic vows, can still participate to a lesser degree in their spiritual practices. Um, Novitiates. I think it's the novitiate for the Benedictines, if I remember correctly. Um, Basically, you're taking on the role of a novice, but not in the monastery. You're partaking in the practices, and including things like spiritual retreats and things, and participating on your own in collective prayers, basically, more or less, um, as a way of furthering one's own spiritual development through union to some higher disciplinary practice like monastic life, which is a good way, I think, of dealing with any kind of habitual sin. I mean, turn to the sacraments, and in addition to that, of course, turn to the sacramentals, turn to regular fasting and prayer, all of the things that the monastic life encourages or demands, if you've taken a solemn vow. Warhorse keeps it classy. It's a benign quest. They don't always keep it classy. There was the quest with the lecherous priest from Ujits. Go back through and watch the streams. I basically had to go back and redo that quest and redo it off stream. Because no, no, alcoholic, porn, gluttony, yeah, all that sort of thing. I mean, again, it's the kind of thing that spiritual practices like you would find in a monastery are immensely helpful in our struggle to overcome. Whether we have a particular sin that we struggle with, or if it's simply a sort of lack of spiritual discipline in general. Wait. Oh, right. I need to talk to Neville.
What is it, brother?
Here's the book you wanted.
Go.
Amazing. This really is it. Now I can use it to prepare a cure for our suffering abbot. Then I'll leave it in the library to make it seem as if Brother Librarian left it lying about. There'll be no investigation. It would be against his best interests, as he'll look like the one who wasn't taking proper care of the books. It will drive him mad. I didn't leave that book out, or did I? Is there anything I can do for you in return?
I'd be interested in finding out the background of the other novices.
That's a strange wish you have. And the only ones who know everything about the novices are the abbot and the prior. They keep a record of every monk in the abbot's book, but you'll never get your hands on it. It's locked up in the prior's study.
Thanks. You've helped me immensely.
No, thank you.
Not really, but okay.
About that book, don't even think about breaking in to get it.
Okay.
Is there any way I could help you get elected? Somehow tip the scales in your favor?
What would you like to do? Climb up the tower and shout, "Vote for Neverless, vote for Neverless"?
Not exactly. You do have an opponent.
Oh, God.
John.
John isn't my opponent. He's my brother. Just like you and everyone else here. We're all brothers in Christ.
Beautiful.
But there is something you could help me with. You must know there's a great deal of iniquity here in the monastery. I'd be interested to hear of anything I don't know about.
Really? The lecherous priest of Ushitz is considered to be one of the best characters in the game. He is very well written. He's a very well written, well developed character. I will definitely say that. He's fascinating because of the fire of his serious devotion, while also sort of juxtaposed with his own serious temptations. I was talking about that a lot at the time as well. But he is a really fascinating character. Now, his admiration for Jan Hus, yeah, it's okay. Hus was not quite Protestant, not quite a heretic, but he was awfully close. I can't change the election. I didn't think so. In real life, John won. Wait, real life? Like this, like, historically speaking, here?
Should I find out for you what's going on around here?
Let me make this clear. I want to base my candidacy on putting things in order. But if I don't know exactly what's wrong, then my promises are just empty slogans.
Very good then. I'll find out what I can.
Thank you, brother.
I know a great deal of things already.
I've discovered something about the wrongs being committed here.
I see. Tell me more.
The Circators go into the cellar at night to drink wine.
I thought so. John always reeks of it. And he wants to be abbot. Hypocrite. Perhaps if you told the prior, that would clip John's wings.
That's a bad idea.
The older brothers are picking on novice Lucas, punishing him when he doesn't deserve it and humiliating him.
It seems that now even brothers can't avoid worldly evil. Thank you for the information. And if you can, stand up for him.
Really?
The older brothers are also out to get me. Any action I take, they'll try to use against me.
Fascinating. I'm not going to tell on Yodok.
That's all I know.
If you find out anything,
I actually want to look into
me.
that. I actually want to look into this and see what the see how closely this is based on historical events and on what records and all that. Fascinating.
What do you want me to find out?
Fascinating.
I'd be interested to hear about any iniquity in the monastery.
Okay, got it. That'll do. Okay. Others. Pages. I still need 5 pages. Make them stop their cruelty. Cask of wine. Eat with the others. I need to do that. Pages? Not going to show me where it is, so whatever. Can't change the history of the monastery short of killing John. Well, I mean, you say that as if that's not technically an option. Not that I'm going to do it, but, you know, possibility, I suppose. Look into the nerds for this game. It's nuts. I know enough about history of the period to recognize the authenticity of a great deal of it. Now, that isn't to say everything. This is actually, like, historically speaking, because I have studied a great deal of medieval history. It's what I have one of my degrees in. Well, my specialization in history is a little broad. I studied a great deal of late Roman history in undergraduate, and then in graduate school I shifted my focus more on the High Middle Ages, so roughly 10th through 13th centuries. So this is slightly outside my area of closest study, although I've flipped into a lot of it in terms of culture and military history. And so you can choose to do side quests in the monastery. I think I'll do some of the side quests. I only have 10 minutes left tonight, so I don't think I have too much more time.
Since he has the authority, let him cut
still going to do some of the side quests. So I'll probably wrap up tonight, do some of the side quests next week, and I will definitely finish it by the end of next week's stream. Definitely, regardless of whether if I still have stuff to do, then I can skip some side quests.
Hard, proud, and disobedient characters he should curb at the very beginning.
Oh, you have played a run where you deliberately killed John. Just ruin history. Just ruin the course of history.
Knowing that it is written, the fool is not correct.
Because the animus to desynchronize like that, you know.
And again, beat your son with the
actually, by the way, that actually has been a thought of mine. I've considered playing the first 4-ish the Ezio, well, not the Ezio series, the first 4-ish Assassin's Creed games.
Therefore, brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor.
The Miles saga, basically. 1, 2, Brotherhood Revelations, 3, then maybe Black Flag, just because Black Flag is really good. I'm not particularly interested in the later ones. I have all of them. I have all of those. Plus the Paris one, which I haven't played, actually. But I have all of those. So that is an option as far as something that I could play on the channel and stream and talk about. It is interesting. It's also annoying, historically speaking, because a lot of it is, a lot of the historical accuracies are incredibly well researched and absolutely fascinating. Particularly the layout and the designs of the cities and all that. Like, there's that meme about somebody who was on a school trip to Rome, and they just ran through a bunch of alleyways and found their way through somewhere because they played a lot of Assassin's Creed and Brotherhood. Yeah, Brotherhood. Yeah, that's actually 100% accurate. I studied a great deal of the layout and design of ancient Rome, classical ancient Rome. Yeah, I also prefer Nablus. It's but yeah,
this is the virtue of those who hold
it is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is an incredibly accurate depiction of Rome. I don't know about time period-wise, but I do know that the location of a lot of the ancient Roman ruins and remaining architecture is shockingly accurate, and even to a significant degree to scale, which is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Really well done. Which is, again, primarily why Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is probably my favorite. It's very close with Black Flag. Black Flag was really good.
For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his
that all said, the whole
then even though he fulfills
the whole church bad thing that Assassin's Creed bases its entire series on is really annoying. As is as are the various I don't know, the ending of the Miles saga with the what is it, Juno, the weird alien god thing. That was bizarre and annoying. I basically completely ignore the meta story, the present day story from Assassin's Creed. I enjoy it for the historical stuff. Wait, you really wouldn't recommend the Greek one? Because that's the one I've of all of the more recent ones, that's the one I've been most interested in, primarily just because of my philosophical study of ancient Greece, of classical Athens. Mostly because I like the time period. I think the time period's fascinating, the most fascinating out of almost any of the time periods that they've explored. Yeah, I would,
Salve
I've kind
Domine.
of thought about that one. The actual gameplay seems meh. The significantly heavier focus on combat in the more recent Assassin's Creed games seems like it it seems to make work in the frattery. Oh, Alchem Bench. Okay. It seems to make the games far more generic, which is disappointing. You know, disappointing to me. Seems like they've almost lost a lot of their uniqueness. Brother?
Ah, Gregor, talk to me.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. Today's task, 2 cockerel potions. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them.
Oh, I need to go and pick up my herbs, don't I? They're not in here. Oh, they are here. Yeah. Oh, the Greek one's way too long and grinding? Yeah, okay, yeah. I have heard that.
Things will get worse. I can fit it in my joints.
That is actually pretty disappointing.
Just before they raised scallops, and now they hurt again. But worse than last time. I tell you, something is going to happen out there.
You might be wrong, and besides, God will be our protector.
Wait, what? I did. Why is it telling me to continue doing that? I need to bring him over here, don't I? Egypt was better. I hear the Viking one solves some of the issues with the Greece one. Yeah, although it's still it still looks very generic Ubisoft game, you know?
I finished my work.
Show me what you've made.
It looks like it's indistinguishable from a
Spectacular, Gregor.
Dark
You've
Age,
found
like
your
a Dark
talent.
Ages Far Cry, you know?
Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices.
Yes, quite. No. Wait, wrong way. Need to get back up into the dormitories real quick. So I can get my stuff. Stuff. What else do I need to do? Need to find more book pages is what I need to do. I don't need to wrap it. Oh, there's one. No, wait, nope, don't need sleep. Stop it. Oh, damn it. There's a book page. That's what I needed. I know the chest respawns every day. Stop. I mean, honestly, I should just put everything away except for some lockpicks, or a lockpick. Because I do need a lockpick. Oh, yeah, I do need a lockpick. Jeez, what else do I need to do? Let me see what I'm going to be doing next. All right, monk stuff. Get the cask of wine. Talk with the Circators. Well, I could talk with the Circators, I suppose. Like how I'm so attached to the stuff. I mean, yes, I know the quest is about not having stuff. I know, like, monasticism in general is about not having stuff. But still, stuff, man. It's a game. It is a video game. What am I going to do other than have stuff?
Is this some kind of bad joke? Put your habit on at once. This isn't.
Oh, jeez. I did not realize I was naked. Whoops. Sorry about that. That is true. If I get the master key, I don't need lockpicks. Yeah, that's a good point. Should get that. It should. Never mind. I mean, I succeeded, but did nothing with it. All right, well, anyway, it is midnight, so next time I will probably get the master key. Don't need to deal with lockpicks. Finish up the various side quests. That'll work. And then wrap up the monastery quest next time. So that should do. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I had a great time. I really am liking this quest. It is a lot of fun. It's God, the setting is just gorgeous. I love the monastery. Wonderful. I'm basking in it a bit, which is part of why I'm taking a while. Anyway, so yep, that'll do us for this week. Like I said, keep an eye out for another couple of videos coming. I'm not sure when. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks. Just again, it depends on when I have time to record, when I have time to edit, that sort of thing. A couple of more, like I said, Star Wars videos on that one terrible episode of The Mandalorian. So that should be a good time. Should be worth watching. But otherwise, again, schedule permitting, I should be right back here next week on Monday for Mass Effect Andromeda, and then once again on Wednesday for more Kingdom Come Deliverance. That all should work out just fine. But again, you never know. Things do come up. So hopefully we should be all right. I should see you then on Monday. If you like what I'm doing and want to help me continue doing this sort of thing, dedicate more time, especially to video editing and whatnot, feel free to contribute down below right there to ko-fi.com/Professor McCoy. I absolutely appreciate anything you can. Any little bit is wonderfully helpful. And I love it very much. Love you very much. Anyway, that is all the time we got. It is past midnight. I got to get going. So remember, don't be safe, be well, and more importantly, be good. Night, everyone.